We are bringing you more of that new video from Egypt as we get back to our top story on the bloody crackdown in Egypt at this hour and what it means for Israel. We wanted to look at that angle because Israel is our closest ally in the Middle East. Israel is keeping a very nervous eye on the deteriorating situation, and it's right on its border. Now, the major concern is that the turmoil in the most populous areas of the country could actually jeopardize the peace treaty that's been between the two countries for such a long time and plunge the two regional powers into a conflict once again. Lisa Daftari is a Middle East journalist and a Fox News contributor, and she's here to shed a lot of light on that. Lisa, thanks for coming in today. The pictures are troubling. The death toll is rising, and Israel is watching. What is it that Israel should do? Because at this point, it seems they're taking a sit-back, wait-and-watch approach.
Right, and that's what Israel very often does. Israel is the duck in the region, meaning on the surface, just calmly waiting by and seeing what's going on and obviously observing and gathering the intelligence that they need. But underneath the surface is obviously becoming very much concerned. And we have to look back at what the U.S.'s role in all of this is. Why do we give aid to Egypt? Why did we first start giving aid to Egypt over 30 years ago? And that was to maintain the peace accord with Israel.
To support the military,
to have secure borders, to keep currently Al-Qaeda out of the Sinai Peninsula. But we've lost leverage to say any of that at this point. And with President Obama coming out yesterday and equating both sides and almost calling this a civil war, because we're saying we condemn violence on this side of the interim government and the military, and we condemn the violence of the Muslim Brotherhood. We're saying that they're two equal sides in this, and that's not the case. We have to allow this government to become stable, to get on its feet, to
well, that's clearly not happening at this point, and I understand that aid to Egypt is under review at this point. Are we possibly aiding this as it gets so close to Israel's border,
well,
this violence?
On how,
inadvertently, obviously.
It depends on how we're defining what this is and what's going on the ground. Understand this. This is not a civil war. This is not a peaceful demonstration by some people who wanted their president who's been ousted. This is an insurgency. There are terrorists on the ground. And those who are camped out fall into two categories. There are terrorists who are well-trained. This is the Muslim Brotherhood. They are propaganda savvy. They are TV savvy. They know exactly how to stage a lot of deaths. They know how to get
You said some of these might be staged, these riots, but people are losing their lives. There's already talk that it may be another Syria. And Israel, as it watches and waits, had supported the military. That's now given an order giving the military the right to shoot anybody that attacks a police officer or a government building.
No one wants this to happen. The interim government doesn't want this. The military doesn't want this. None of the leaders in Egypt currently want this. But the police is being shot at. The churches are being burnt down. 52 churches have been burnt down. No one's talking about this. This is the Muslim Brotherhood. They're shooting at civilians. A 10-year-old girl, a Christian girl, was walking home from Bible study a few days ago, and she was shot at. The Muslim Brotherhood made it clear, we're not going down without a fight. We're going to shoot at innocent civilians who are not armed.
But
let me say one thing, the Muslim Brotherhood is armed. These people are armed. It's an insurgency.
Each of these pictures that we show is in a different area or region in the country. It's not just Cairo. It's out as well. Christians are hiding at this point. Could Israel get dragged into this? Because it's along this southern border that is imminently close to familiar territory for the Israelis.
One silver lining to all of this is that we've seen a friendship or some sort of collaboration on the part of the interim government and Israel in getting these influences out of the country, out of the Sinai Peninsula, where it would be very dangerous.
What if the military loses? The relationship Israel has supported with the military, what happens?
What's going on right now, again, is not a civil war where the military can lose. They're more in number. They're the military. They have the weapons. They have the support, hopefully, of other nations. So we're seeing a situation where, you know, the Saudis are throwing in money, the Kuwaitis are throwing in money, and they're all doing this in an effort to keep these influences out of their own country as well. And the U.S. has to understand that the aid going into Egypt will only help the interim government cleanse itself of these influences and to get back up on its feet, improve its economy, and hopefully move forward in that way.
This looks to be a long way off. Lisa, thank you very much for coming in. It certainly is a tense situation, and it grows by the hour. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Greg?